Hello, everyone. This is Sleepy Joe. Today, we are going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2, which has a separate storyline from Dragon's Dogma 1. And I'm not talking about the core gameplay. In fact, I am talking about the story of XQ3D and Superfolder Ghostbuster. Much like XQ3D's World of Justice, this had an interesting storyline. In fact, there were also a separate storyline, which I will in fact get to later. But as of right now, I want to at least discuss what it was like for XQ3D and Superfolder Ghostbuster in the world of Kazudis. For those that don't know, XQ3D became an arisen in the land of Kazudis when the almighty dragon Grigori attacked the village. When XQ3D awoke after the attack, he realized that his heart was stolen by the dragon. And he decided that he needed a companion that would help him on his quest to reclaim what was stolen. And that companion was Superfolder Ghostbuster. But unlike Superfolder Ghostbuster, who would regularly be in his physical form, the physical form that was presented to Mr. XQ3D was in fact a pawn. The pawn would be his companion, but with no emotions. Together, they would go to conquer the dragon. But before they could do that, they were on many, many quests together. The cat in the hat! I apologize. I don't know why that happened. I probably didn't have enough ice cream this morning. Anyways, I don't remember if they were, but I swear they must have been halflings, or maybe even hobbits, whatever they were. But XQ3D, of all things, because it is who he is, was in fact the fighter skill, meaning that he carried a sword because XQ3D liked using swords. Superfolder Ghostbuster became an archer, so he could shoot all the goblins walking around at the village. But the Superfolder Ghostbuster and XQ3D had many other pawns to accompany them. And even the wicked king that lived in Grand Soren, the beating heart of all Granzes. The king approached XQ3D as a man who would do anything for the kingdom. And XQ3D and Superfolder Ghostbuster were granted the ability to walk all over Grand Soren. And after many, many quests, and even repetitious things to happen that were to come, if there's no pillowcase, I don't know. They fought the dragon, and XQ3D reclaimed his heart. And that's pretty much it. Well, there is something else that happens at the end of the game, but we don't want to spoil it unless you play the actual original game. And that's what happened with XQ3D and Superfolder Ghostbuster. Not really exciting. But now we have the separate storyline, known as the Rain family, spelled R-E-I-G-N. You see, the Rain family is actually a bloodline of many people that would go through the endless cycle as many other members of the family would go to do so. The Rain family is actually a part of the Mysteria Chronicles, the realm of Mysteria, which originally was considered to be called Mysteria, a fantasy land created by XQ3D in around 2017 at the latest. There is even a book being written but was never finished, and a full screenplay that took him around 3 to 4 years to complete that took place in that realm. But it has nothing to do with the Rain family. Anyways, the Mysteria Chronicles has a character named Bailey Rain, and he is the prince of Mysteria, and he even has a brother named Christian Rain that many people do not realize that they are brothers, including the prince himself. But Bailey Rain was not in Dragon's Dogma, if I recall correctly, as I am the master of disguise, Sleepy Joe. But many members of the Rain family would have a similar quest to the Lord of the Rings. In Dragon's Dogma, you pick up a gold ring. In the actual game, it does not have powers. However, in the story, the magic ring has many, many powers indeed, very similar to the One Ring. But each cycle, they would carry the ring, the remaining few. And even one of the family members that originally had the ring would become the dragon Grigori. In the story, you, as one of the grandchildren of said character, would have to fight your grandfather, the dragon, because of the ring that corrupted the family. And it took at least 7 to 8 generations of this family to finally end the curse of this ring that is in Gran Soren. Now, no one knows where the ring truly came from. But as a master of lore, since you guys, many of you probably have listened to me talk about XQ3D's World of Justice, I can clarify where the ring came from. Nowhere. You see, the ring appeared just in the same spot that the gold ring was at. Either that or one of them bought it at the local gift shop in Gran Soren. No one really knows. But the ring, in fact, was cursed. And whoever created the ring is, in fact, unknown. There's no way to figure out who created the ring and corrupted the bloodline. Excuse me. And the thing is that the ring is, Charlie Brown with the Jailblade Kiki's delivery service. There's actually a silver ring. It's been a while since I've looked deep into the story, but there was apparently a silver ring that might have had a similar thing to go with it. But the gold ring was, in fact, the true power that was ruining the family. The Dragon's Dogma storyline also had characters that were similar to Game of Thrones and even Earthsea, mainly the adaptation of Tales from Earthsea that drew inspiration for one of the characters. There's 2 different stories of XQ3D and Superphoto Ghostbuster and the Rain family do not conflict with each other in any way, except for the ending, when one of the original members of the family, well, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played the original game. But as for Dragon's Dogma 2, the Rain storyline does not continue because it ended in the original Dragon's Dogma. I should point out, too, that the Rain story in Dragon's Dogma was originally done for the PlayStation 3. The PS4 version does not continue the Bloodline, as it ended specifically on the PS3. Unlike XQ3D's World of Justice, which has expanded into 11 parts, 12 if you count XQ3D's non-world, which basically does not have XQ3D's world in it, but instead has, you just play as SpongeBob And it's only called that because XQ3D needed to make one Minecraft world where he needed to use something. It's a whole different mess. Ask Buddy the Elf about it. And it was unlike XQ3D's World of Justice that has many parts, and even though it's not finished, those 11 parts at least have the continuing story. The Rain family, Bloodline, ended on the PlayStation 3. I know I have been repeating that many, many, many times, but it is true. You know, I have stepped on this platform many, many, many times, and I have eaten desserts many, many times. This, without a doubt, is the greatest dessert I have ever eaten. It is flawless. The burger is tender, and the rolls crispy. It's delicious, like the hummingbird that washes by the sea. And everything that you need to know is everything you must trust, and it lives beyond the sun. Oh, Umbasa. And that is the poem of XQ3D, who created it in XQ3D's world of non-magical justice with the help of Umbasa from Demon Souls. And if you do not know what it is, and the pineapple will surely swallow us all.